Coastal communities in our area are seeing more erosion and flooding. I've taken a closer look at some of the causes and what's being done to prevent valuable land and assets from being washed away.
I do feel in the last 5 years or so that the tides have definitely changed. Rainfall frequency has definitely changed.
It's a problem all across our region. North Beach, Maryland is right on the Chesapeake Bay. Here you can see the beach erosion firsthand.
And that would be another 150 feet of beach for residents and guests to sit on that we have lost from beach erosion.
So what can be done? In North Beach, local and state officials have initiated numerous projects to mitigate flooding and beach erosion. One thing was to fix piping and add more pumps to flood-prone areas.
Now we're hoping when it rains, when that pipe starts getting filled up, we don't have to wait for it to come over here gravity-wise. We're pulling right out of the large conduit.
Some local roads have been raised, including a key evacuation route out of town. Additionally, parts of the shoreline have been protected and restored with natural materials. It's called a living shoreline. This is a living shoreline. It's one of the tools that coastal towns like North Beach, Maryland is using in the battle against beach erosion, sea level rise, and coastal flooding.
We did a raising of the road at 18 inches. We did a living shoreline, and we did a berm. The fourth piece of the puzzle is increasing the pump that we have down there. And we believe with those four things, we should dramatically reduce the impact.
Michael Powell, an environmental scientist with the Delaware Department of Natural Resources, says natural sea level rise has been eroding the Atlantic coast for thousands of years.
The normal response of a sandy coastline to rising sea level is to retreat. But we've built houses and infrastructure up and down our coast, so there's really no room for the beaches and dunes to retreat.
This means trouble for Delaware and Maryland beaches like Rehoboth Beach and Ocean City. In places like Indian River Inlet and Ocean City Inlet, human-made structures like jetties protect the inlet but stop natural sand transport.
Those rock jetties block the flow of sand from moving north and south along the coast in those areas.
Blocking the movement of sand causes some beaches to erode faster than others. Meanwhile, the Chesapeake Bay is seeing its fair share of coastal change too, but something unique is happening in the bay.
What people are using as water sources to their homes is actually lowering the reservoir underground, and it's causing the land to sink.
That's right. The land around the bay is sinking.
We're trying to be ahead of the curve here, but Mother Nature is going to do what Mother Nature wants to do.
Right.
And that's what we're combating right now.
Yeah. Despite the overwhelming odds, it seems everyone is up to the test.
It sounds like it's an immense challenge, all of this. Can it be done?
I have faith in humankind. We are going to wrestle with these hard problems and find a way forward. It's going to be incredibly challenging.
According to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, sunny day flooding is on the rise, and places like Annapolis and here in Washington, D.C. could have more than triple the flooding in 2030 compared to the year 2000. And we've got a fascinating, deeper dive right now on the WUSA 9 mobile app and website. And I'm not just saying fascinating because I wrote it, but because it actually is quite interesting. So give it a read there. It gives you a little bit bigger picture of what's happening in our area. Meanwhile, let's get to the weather. We've got a ridge of high pressure really enveloping our region right now. Big time ridge here. Not quite the record-setting ridge of high pressure they're getting in the northwest, where they could break all-time record highs from Seattle to Spokane and Portland. But we're going to be toasty as well. Temperatures mid-90s later this week, and the humidity continues to stick with us. So get ready for a heat index up near 100 as soon as Tuesday and Wednesday. Jet stream does break down and brings in an area of low pressure. See, when the jet stream dips like this, that typically means lower pressure, and that means a stormier weather pattern could be quite active towards the end of this week. We're talking temperatures only in the 80s and widespread thunderstorms possible at the end of this week. But let's get back to this heat, this humidity, okay? This is one of our model projections. It doesn't have us quite getting to 100 for the heat index, but I think we will get there in that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday time period. High temperatures definitely into the 90s each day. 5 days in a row of 90-plus heat. That's a heat wave for us here in the Washington, D.C. area. This morning, starting off in the 70s, around 80 degrees. We'll be up near 90 by the time we get to lunchtime, and we will be into the 90s this afternoon. And that heat index Really feeling it here. 92 at noon here in Washington, and at 4, 5 o'clock, peak heating of the day, feels like 95 in Frederick, 96 in Manassas, 94 in La Plata, and feels like 96 here in Washington, D.C. Even at sunset, it still feels like 90 in the metro. So again, hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Super important today and the next several days across the region. All right, midday is quiet on our Futurecast. This particular Futurecast, a little bit different model than the one I showed you at the top of the show, keeps all the storms west of D.C. It does get them close to the metro by late afternoon. I do think there could be an isolated storm really anywhere in Metro Washington and areas west of the metro through the afternoon. By sunset, things will be done. Tomorrow, we'll repeat this pattern. A little bit more sunshine tomorrow and certainly hotter, temperatures into the 90s, and most of the storms west of Washington, D.C., but don't be surprised if one or two does sneak their way farther to the east into the metro. However, 95% of us, no raindrops next couple of days. We're warm this morning, maybe a little sunshine, and then we'll squeeze out more sun this afternoon. We'll call it partly cloudy. There's that slight chance of a storm, 10% or less. Southwesterly breezes will kick up. That won't give us any relief. It's just going to be sticky, hot, and humid with highs near 90 here in Washington. And tomorrow, even hotter. We are there for Monday, there for Tuesday, and there for Wednesday. Outside plans, runs, walks, and jogs. Try to do them early in the morning. You head to the Nats game. They are in town for much of the week. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Watch for storm chances. A few will be around as soon as Wednesday. Better opportunities Thursday, Friday. That's when the cool down seeps in. Temperatures will start off cooler in the 80s for the next holiday weekend. So there is some relief from this heat coming up, Nat.
Yeah, for those of us who love hot weather, great.
Yeah,
this is your week.
This is it.
For those of you like me, grab your gallon of water and start drinking.
There you go.
Thanks so much, Chester. We've talked about LG